spent 5 years building what I thought was a perfect marriage with Amanda. We had the house, the careers, and the social media presence that made everyone envious. Then I discovered her affair with Jake, my closest friend since college. When confronted, Amanda did not just deny or apologize. She laughed in my face and said, "You will never leave me, Kelvin. You are too weak, and you need me way more than I need you." She believed I lacked the courage to walk away and rebuild. She had no idea what I was capable of when betrayed so completely. Before I tell you how I proved her fatally wrong, drop a comment letting me know where you are watching from, and subscribe if you have ever been underestimated by someone who took you for granted. I met Amanda at a charity fundraiser for the local children's hospital 6 years ago. I had just finished overseeing a major bridge reconstruction project that earned my engineering firm considerable recognition, and the company purchased a table at the gala. Amanda was there representing her real estate brokerage, radiating confidence in a striking red dress that made her impossible to miss. "That property on Westlake sold because of the structural improvements you designed," she said, when we were introduced, her knowledge of my work catching me off guard. "Your reputation precedes you." Her directness and intelligence captivated me immediately. By the end of the night, we had exchanged numbers, and within a week we were inseparable. The connection felt electric, unlike anything I had experienced in previous relationships. Amanda was ambitious, driven, and seemed to understand my passion for engineering in a way no one else had. Our courtship moved quickly. Within 3 months, we were discussing marriage. My closest friends, particularly Jake, who had been my roommate throughout college, expressed concerns about the pace. "Are you sure you know her well enough?" Jake asked one night over beers. "Marriage is a big step, man." I dismissed his concerns as overprotectiveness. "When you know, you know," I told him confidently. 8 months after we met, I proposed on a helicopter tour over the city, pointing out the buildings and bridges I had helped design. Amanda said yes with tears in her eyes, and we planned an extravagant wedding that took place just 4 months later. Looking back, I realize how many warning signs I ignored in my infatuation. The first red flag appeared during wedding planning. Amanda became obsessed with how everything would look on social media. Our venue flowers and even my tuxedo were chosen based on what would photograph best for her Instagram, where she had built a following as a luxury real estate agent. When I suggested a more intimate ceremony, she dismissed the idea immediately. "This is not just a wedding, Kelvin. This is networking. This is brand building," she explained as if I were a child. "My clients expect a certain image." After the wedding, subtle changes began. Amanda would make small comments about my clothes, my hair, even my posture during social events. "Stand up straight. You look sloppy," she would whisper harshly at gatherings. Or, "That shirt makes you look like you are trying too hard." Each criticism chipped away at my confidence. I began second-guessing myself, changing outfits multiple times before events, worried about embarrassing her. Amanda had a way of making me feel simultaneously special and inadequate, a confusing mix that kept me constantly seeking her approval. She also began isolating me from friends and family. My weekly basketball games with college buddies became monthly, then stopped altogether. Amanda would create conflicts when I planned to visit my parents, who lived just an hour away. "We have the Hendersons coming over that weekend," she would say, referring to potential clients I had never heard of before. "Your sister is so negative," she would comment after family gatherings. "She brings you down." Eventually, I was seeing my family only on major holidays, always with Amanda by my side, monitoring conversations. Despite these issues, we projected a perfect image. Our home in an exclusive neighborhood was featured in a local magazine. Our vacations to Bali, Greece, and Switzerland filled Amanda's social media feed. We hosted dinner parties for colleagues and clients, playing the role of the ideal power couple. I was made partner at my firm, and Amanda became the top-selling agent at her brokerage 3 years in a row. Jake remained one of the few connections to my past that Amanda tolerated, perhaps because of his own successful career as a commercial developer. Their industries overlapped, providing a justification for his presence in our lives. Jake would join us for dinner regularly, bringing expensive wine and engaging Amanda in conversations about market trends and property values. I was grateful that at least one friend had survived Amanda's social culling, though I sometimes felt like a third wheel in my own home. There were moments when I noticed lingering eye contact between them, or inside jokes I was not privy to, but I dismissed these observations as paranoia. "You are lucky to have such a supportive friend," Amanda would say after Jake left. "Most of your old college buddies were going nowhere." This mixture of compliment and criticism was typical of how she communicated, leaving me slightly unsettled, but unable to pinpoint exactly why. Looking back, I see how she was systematically undermining my confidence, while elevating Jake in our social hierarchy, preparing the ground for what was to come. The first concrete suspicion came when I noticed Amanda had changed the password on her phone. For years, we had known each other's passcodes, not because we regularly checked each other's devices, but as a matter of transparency. When I casually mentioned the change, she became defensive. "I need some privacy, Kelvin. You do not need access to everything in my life," she snapped. An overreaction that left me stunned. Other unusual patterns emerged. Amanda began taking calls in another room, speaking in hushed tones. Her working hours became unpredictable, with last-minute showings that often ran late into the evening. When I texted during these absences, responses would come hours later with vague explanations. Jake also became less available for our occasional lunches, citing project demands and travel. It seemed innocent enough until I noticed their absences often coincided. The weekend Amanda attended a real estate conference in Chicago. Jake mentioned being tied up with meetings in the same city. The turning point came when Amanda left her laptop open one evening after falling asleep on the couch. A notification popped up from her Instagram direct messages. Against my better judgment, I looked. There was a conversation with Jake spanning months, filled with intimate photos and explicit messages planning their encounters. My world collapsed as I scrolled through evidence of a 2-year affair conducted partly in my own home. There were messages mocking me, critiquing my performance in bed, laughing about how oblivious I was. In one particularly painful exchange, Amanda wrote, "He actually thinks you come over because you enjoy his company. If he knew what we did in our bathroom while he was grilling on the deck last weekend." I felt physically ill, stumbling to the bathroom to vomit as the reality hit me. After the initial shock subsided, a cold clarity took its place. I spent the night methodically gathering evidence, taking screenshots, downloading messages, and noting dates. By morning, I had compiled irrefutable proof of their betrayal. Rather than confronting Amanda immediately, I waited and planned. I learned she had planned to meet Jake at his apartment that Friday, while I was supposedly attending a work conference in Seattle. I canceled my trip without telling her, then used our shared location app to track her movements. At 7:30 that evening, I watched as her location indicator stopped at Jake's apartment building downtown. For 2 hours, I sat in our living room, a glass of whiskey in hand, the evidence of their affair displayed on our 75-inch TV screen connected to my laptop. When Amanda walked through the door at 10:15, humming softly, she froze at the sight of me. Her eyes darted to the screen where dozens of their explicit messages were projected. "What is this?" she stammered, her face draining of color. "You tell me." I replied, my voice steadier than I expected. "How long have you been sleeping with Jake?" Her denial lasted approximately 20 seconds before shifting to blame. "You drove me to this." She hissed, her shock transforming into anger. "You are always working, always distracted. Jake actually listens to me, actually satisfies me. For 2 years, Amanda. In our home, in our bed," I asked, cycling through screenshots of dates and locations. "You want to know the truth," she said, her voice taking on a cruel edge. "Jake is twice the man you are. More ambitious, more exciting, more attentive. He knows how to touch me, how to talk to me. Things I have had to fake with you for years. I never have to fake with him." Each word was calculated to cause maximum pain, and they hit their mark. But what came next revealed the true depth of her contempt. Amanda laughed, a cold sound devoid of remorse. "But you know what I knew you would find out eventually. I just did not care enough to be careful anymore." She walked to the bar, poured herself a drink, and turned to face me with a smirk. "Here is what is going to happen now. You are going to be angry for a few days. You might even sleep in the guest room. Then you will forgive me. Because that is who you are, Kelvin. Pathetically devoted. Desperate not to be alone." She took a long sip, watching me over the rim of her glass. "You will never leave me. You do not have the spine for it. You need me more than I need you. We both know it. To demonstrate her point, she pulled out her phone and began texting, smiling as responses came in. I knew without asking that she was communicating with Jake, probably updating him on the situation. I am going to stay at my sister's tonight, she announced, finishing her drink. Give you some time to process this. By Monday, we can start moving past it. She grabbed her purse and headed for the door. This changes nothing in the long run, Kelvin. You will see. The door closed behind her, leaving me alone with the evidence of her betrayal still illuminated on our television screen. In that moment, something fundamental shifted inside me. The pain was still there, razor sharp and all-consuming, but alongside it grew a cold, clarifying anger. Amanda believed she knew me better than I knew myself. She thought my love for her had made me weak, malleable, predictable. In her arrogance, she had revealed not just the affair, but her fundamental disrespect for me as a person. That night, as I sat among the ruins of my marriage, I made a decision I would show her just how wrong she was. At 8 o'clock the next morning, I was sitting in the office of Diana Winters, reputed to be the most formidable divorce attorney in the city. Her services commanded a premium fee, but her track record of favorable settlements made her worth every penny. Tell me everything, she said after I outlined my situation. For the next hour, I detailed the evidence I had gathered, Amanda's reaction, and her confident assertion that I would never leave. Diana took extensive notes, occasionally asking clarifying questions. Your documentation is exceptionally thorough, she remarked. Most clients come to me with suspicions. You have brought evidence. We developed a comprehensive strategy. First, I needed to secure my financial assets. Though we had a joint account for household expenses, I had maintained separate accounts for my inheritance and company profit sharing. Diana advised me to immediately move funds from joint accounts into a new account in only my name, leaving enough to cover household expenses for the month, which was legally acceptable. Next, we need to document the current state of your assets, she continued. Properties, vehicles, investments, artwork, everything. Take photographs of valuable items in your home. Create a detailed inventory. I followed her instructions meticulously. That afternoon, while Amanda was still away, I photographed every room in our house, documented the contents of our safe, and compiled statements from all financial accounts. I changed passwords on my personal accounts and created a separate email address for divorce communications. I also visited my doctor to document my physical and psychological state, explaining the situation and the toll it was taking. The medical record would prove valuable if Amanda attempted to claim emotional abuse, a tactic Diana warned was common. When Amanda returned Sunday evening, her demeanor had shifted from arrogant to conciliatory. She had clearly expected to find me desperate for reconciliation. Instead, she found divorce papers on the kitchen counter. What is this? She asked, her voice faltering as she flipped through the documents. Exactly what it looks like, I replied calmly. I am filing for divorce on grounds of adultery. Her shocked expression would have been satisfying if the situation were not so painful. You cannot be serious, she said. Kelvin, we can work through this. Everyone makes mistakes. When her pleading had no effect, her tactics changed. Tears came next, along with promises of therapy, transparency, and renewed commitment. When these two failed to move me, her true colors emerged again. You will regret this, she snarled, mask of contrition vanishing. I will take everything. The house, your savings, even your precious family inheritance. By the time I am done with you, you will wish you had forgiven me. She stormed out, and the real battle began. Within days, Amanda launched a preemptive social attack. Mutual friends called to express concern after hearing I had become controlling and emotionally abusive. Colleagues mentioned rumors that I had driven Amanda to seek comfort elsewhere through my neglect and workaholism. She was attempting to control the narrative, positioning herself as the victim. More disturbingly, she contacted my firm's managing partners, suggesting I was mentally unstable and making questionable professional decisions. Her goal was clear: destroy my credibility before I could damage hers. I had anticipated this approach. Diana had warned that character assassination was a common tactic when substantial assets were involved. Rather than responding emotionally to each accusation, I documented everything methodically. Every rumor was traced back to its source and added to our case file. After 2 weeks of mounting defamation, I executed the next phase of our strategy. I created a single factual social media post on my rarely used accounts. It contained no accusations, only verifiable statements. After discovering my wife's 2-year affair with my friend Jake Thompson, I have filed for divorce. I have evidence of the infidelity, including messages, photographs, and location data. I am not emotionally unstable or abusive, as some have suggested. I am simply a husband whose trust was violated. I ask for privacy during this difficult time. I attached a single screenshot of messages between them, with the most explicit content redacted. It was enough to establish the truth without being gratuitous. The post went viral within our social and professional circles. Jake's longtime girlfriend saw it and publicly ended their relationship. Friends who had been swayed by Amanda's version reached out with apologies. Colleagues expressed support, effectively neutralizing her attempts to undermine me professionally. Amanda was furious. "You had no right to humiliate me publicly," she screamed during a phone call. "I will destroy you for this." "I simply stated facts," I replied. "You and Jake created this situation, not me." The divorce proceedings grew increasingly contentious. Amanda hired an aggressive attorney known for securing maximum settlements. She claimed entitlement to half my family inheritance, despite legal protections I had established years earlier. She demanded our house investment accounts and even personal items with sentimental value to my family. The turning point in court came when Diana presented our evidence not just of the affair but of Amanda's systematic campaign to damage my reputation. We had statements from colleagues she had approached with false claims records of rumors she had initiated and documentation of her attempts to interfere with my career. The judge, a no-nonsense woman in her 60s, was visibly unimpressed by these tactics. When Amanda's attorney attempted to portray her as a victimized wife, seeking fair compensation, Diana countered with evidence of Amanda's own words. "You will never leave me. You do not have the spine for it." In her ruling, the judge cited Amanda's demonstrable pattern of deception and malicious intent. The final settlement was fair but favored me significantly. I retained my inheritance and the majority of my business interests. We sold the house and divided the proceeds. Most importantly, I secured my professional reputation against her attempts at sabotage. The immediate aftermath of the divorce was both liberating and disorienting. I moved into a downtown apartment, purposefully choosing a building with modern amenities that contrasted sharply with the traditional suburban home Amanda had insisted upon. For the first time in years, I decorated according to my own taste, favoring clean lines and functional design over the showy, photogenic style Amanda had preferred. The professional consequences of Amanda's actions became apparent quickly. Several of her high-profile clients quietly moved their business to other agents. After the truth about the affair became public, her carefully cultivated image as a trustworthy advisor had been irrevocably damaged. Jake, too, faced repercussions. His company transferred him to their Phoenix office, effectively removing him from our social circle. My own healing process was gradual and deliberate. I found a therapist specializing in betrayal trauma who helped me understand the dynamics of my relationship with Amanda. I learned that many of her behaviors, the criticism, isolation, and gaslighting, were classic signs of emotional abuse. This knowledge helped me contextualize my experience and begin rebuilding my self-image. "You were not weak for staying," Dr. Marshall told me during one session. "You were manipulated by someone skilled at exploitation. Your strength is evident in how you responded when you discovered the truth." I reconnected with friends. Amanda had pushed away rebuilding relationships I had neglected. My weekly basketball game resumed, along with regular family dinners with my parents and sister. These renewed connections provided a support network that proved invaluable during difficult days. 6 months after the divorce was finalized, I received an email from Amanda. Her tone was bitter and accusatory. "I hope you are satisfied with what you have done. My business is struggling, my reputation is ruined, and Jake left after everything blew up. You destroyed my life out of spite. I never thought you could be so cruel." Reading her words, I realized something profound. They no longer had power over me. Her attempt to induce guilt failed because I recognized it as another manipulation tactic. I did not respond, a decision that represented a significant milestone in my recovery. I was no longer available for her games. 1 year post-divorce, my professional life flourished in unexpected ways. The managing partners at my firm, impressed by my composure during personal turmoil, assigned me to lead our new sustainable infrastructure division. This promotion came with significant responsibility and opportunity for innovation in my field. When the division expanded, I accepted a transfer to our Boston office, welcoming the chance for a complete fresh start in a city where I could build a life untainted by painful memories. The move represented not an escape but a positive choice to pursue new possibilities. In Boston, I established new routines centered around personal growth. I joined a rock climbing gym, took weekend photography excursions to capture the city's historic architecture, and volunteered teaching engineering concepts to high school students. These activities helped me rediscover passions and interests that had been suppressed during my marriage. The most unexpected development came through a professional collaboration with Megan Carter, a structural architect whose firm partnered with mine on a waterfront revitalization project. Our working relationship evolved naturally into friendship, characterized by mutual respect and genuine interest in each other's perspectives. Unlike my relationship with Amanda, which had been fueled by intensity and projection, my connection with Megan developed slowly and authentically. We shared similar values but different viewpoints, creating conversations that were stimulating rather than combative. Most refreshingly, Megan had no interest in creating an enviable social media presence, preferring genuine experiences over performative ones. When our relationship eventually turned romantic, I was transparent about my past. I was in a marriage where infidelity and emotional manipulation were significant factors, I told her one evening. It affected me in ways I am still discovering. Thank you for trusting me with that, she responded thoughtfully. Everyone brings their history into new relationships. What matters is how we communicate about it. This straightforward, honest exchange exemplified the difference in relationship dynamics. With Amanda, vulnerability had been weaponized. With Megan, it became a foundation for deeper understanding. 2 years after the divorce, I heard through mutual connections that Amanda had relocated to a smaller market after struggling to rebuild her client base. She had attempted to revive her relationship with Jake, only to discover he had moved on to someone else. Despite this knowledge, I felt no satisfaction in her difficulties, only a complex mixture of sadness for what might have been and gratitude for my escape. The experience transformed me in fundamental ways. I developed stronger boundaries, greater self-awareness, and more authentic connections. I learned that standing up for yourself is not about revenge or retribution, but about reclaiming your dignity and worth. Amanda's fatal miscalculation was believing that love had made me weak, when in reality her betrayal revealed a strength I never knew I possessed. Sometimes people need to underestimate you so you can discover your true capacity for resilience and renewal. Have you ever been in a situation where someone underestimated your resolve? Share your story in the comments below. If this journey of reclaiming self-worth resonated with you, please hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. And remember to share it with someone who might need to hear that they have the strength to walk away from toxic relationships. Thank you for being part of my healing journey, and I hope my experience helps you recognize your own power to overcome betrayal and build a life of authentic happiness.